Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Montefusco and I'm a lover of all things when it comes to makeup, fragrance, beauty, and all of that fun stuff. And today, as you may be able to tell, I have a full face of makeup on except for my eyes. So that must mean it's an eyeshadow palette review video. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge palette. I have tried most of the shades in the palette. In fact, I have tried everything but the purple column in here. And spoiler alert, so far I have had really good luck with this palette. I think it's a lovely palette. I love the bright colors. The color story is amazing, and I can see why this brand has been getting a lot of hype. So if you all are interested in seeing me do a quick little tutorial with this palette as well as my overall review and some swatches, then please keep on watching. So as always, before I get started with my eyeshadow, I have to prime. So I'm going to use my Milani eyeshadow primer, my tried and true. This stuff is cheap at the drugstore, best eyeshadow primer I have personally ever tried. Whenever I am trying a new palette, I always use it. And I have tried another eyeshadow primer with this palette. I did not like it nearly as much, so Milani to me is just the best, at least on my eyes. So I'm gonna apply this really quickly, and then we're gonna get into some bright, fun colors. All right, so this is what the palette looks like. I think I'm gonna use a lot of the purples in here just because that's the column I haven't used yet. But I've used everything else, and I've taken pictures of every look that I did except for the pink look that I did. So I think today we're gonna focus on pinks and purples, maybe a little bit more on the purple side. So now that I'm primed, I'm gonna start with my crease as I always do. And I just realized that this palette doesn't have a mirror in it, so I grabbed my Danessa Myricks little mirror so I can see what I'm doing. That would be helpful. So first, I'm going to take my Rephr number 27 brush. This is just like a fluffy crease brush. It's natural hair. I'm going to go into the shade Stay, which is the second purple in that column. Just going to fluff this on the outer part of my eye, of my crease, and we'll see how that looks since I haven't used any of these purples yet. Ooh, that's a really pretty shade. As you all probably know, if you've experienced bright colors before, purples, especially purple mattes, are some of the hardest shades to formulate. So far, I am liking how this is laying in my crease. I think it looks really nice. I think what I'm gonna do is do a purple to pink gradient in my crease. See how that turns out. All right, I think that looks good. Now I'm going to go into the shade Beckon, which is this grungy pastel purple. It's the top purple on that column. I'm going to take the same brush and we're going to use this to blend out the edges of the purple that I just used. So that's like one of the main reasons I love this palette. Those coordinating pastels I think are really cool, really unique, not something I've ever seen before. And then also the coordinating grungy mattes are just, oh, so good. This palette is just overall such a pleasure to work with. Even these purples. I mean, I am very impressed. So now I want to go into some pinks. I think I'm going to take this shade called Charged. It's this neon pink on the bottom row. We're gonna put that in the inner part of my crease, and I'm using my Rephr number 16 brush for that. And my brushes are really dirty. My apologies. I just haven't gotten to cleaning them recently, so they're a bit dirty, but they'll do the job. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a very fun look. This pink neon shade is very bright. But you know what? That's what I was going for, so I'm not mad about it. And then to blend the pink, we're gonna take that pink pastel shade on the top row. What's that one called? It's called Cheeks. I'm gonna take that and just blend it a little bit. So now we're gonna go into the outer corner. I'm gonna take my Refer #1 brush, which already has some purple eyeshadow on it. We're gonna take the shade Covet. Whoop, let me look for it. Covet, which is a very, very dark purple. And we're gonna put that on my outer corner. So far, not a ton of fallout on these shades, which I've noticed with the other shades in the palette as well. The mattes don't have a lot of fallout unless you know, really pick them up heavy and don't tap off your brush. But if you do, I would say this is pretty safe, as long as you're, you know, careful to do your face first, like I did today. And now we're gonna take that Refer #27 to blend the outer corner. So now, as you may know, it is shimmer time, and whenever I use metallics, I always like to use a glitter glue. So I'm going to use this Too Faced glitter glue, as I always do. Put this on the parts of my eyes that do not have eyeshadow, and then we'll get into some metallics. All right, so now I'm going to take this purple metallic called Euphoric, put that in the very, very middle of my eye. This purple has a bit of a pink shift to it. It's very pretty. I would call this a duochrome, definitely. It's like a cool toned mid purple with a pink sparkle all throughout it. Very pretty shade. And then I'm gonna take that pink metallic in the palette and we're just gonna blend it into the purple. And that pink shade is called All Mine. So now I'm going to remove the bake underneath my eyes. And I really got no fallout from this entire look, which is really great when you're working with purples. Because purple fallout, oof, that's a disaster. So for the lower lash line, I'm gonna work with two shades here. I'm going to go into Pulse, which is this neon purple, and I think we're gonna fade it into Maybe, which is the second pink on the column of pinks. And now we're gonna do something really fun and kind of off the wall. I'm gonna take this neon yellow, the shade is called Shocked. Gonna take this on a Refer #26 pencil brush, gonna put that into my inner corner. This shade you definitely have to pack to get impact, or at least the amount of impact that I want. But when you do, you really do get a neon yellow inner corner. And I think that's a lot of fun. All right, so this is the completed look without mascara. I don't think I'm gonna put on eyeliner today, so I'm just gonna hop off a camera real quick, put on some mascara, then we're gonna talk about my review of this palette as well as some swatches. All right, so here's the completed look with mascara on. Overall, I really love how this look has turned out, and personally, I have loved all the looks that I've created with this palette. So I will pop some of them up on the screen so you can see what kinds of looks I've created with the different colors. But overall, if you love color, if you love brights that are really easy to blend, if you are even a beginner to color and color intimidates you, I think this would be a really good palette. The fact that there is such a gradient for each color, I think makes it pretty beginner friendly, because if you know, put a color in your crease, for example, like I did today with the pinks and the purples, and you're like, ooh, that's a little bit too intense, you can easily go into one of these pastels in the top row and just, you know, blend it out. And it makes it really easy and really user-friendly. Also, I feel like the way that this palette is laid out, you can easily do monochromatic looks with this, which again, you know, is pretty not creative, creative, but it's very beginner friendly. Or you can really experiment with all the different colors in here. I have tried every single matte in this palette now. I think they're all really, really great. Even the colors that are more difficult to formulate, like, you know, purples, blues, all of that, they're really, really good. I have no complaints at all with the mattes. The shimmers, I think, are a nice formula. They're definitely a bit softer and creamier to the touch. Are they, you know, as flaky and like, as I like? Not necessarily, but I do think they're a good shimmer formula, and especially since this is Blend Bunny's first time ever including metallics in a palette, and this is also their second palette ever. I think they did a really, really good job. Overall, I think the pastels are really unique and I love them. And I also think the grungy mattes are also really unique, those dark, dark colors. I don't really have a super dark, grungy, like blue in my collection, you know? I think that's a really unique color. That super dark grungy red I think is really cool. So I think those are really unique, but overall, like the pastels are just absolutely stunning, very, very unique. The neons perform really well. The metallics perform really well. Like overall, this palette is just a hit. I really enjoy it. I really like it. I'm definitely gonna reach for this palette when I want a colorful look. And you can even go kind of neutral. Those first two columns, you can do something neutral with it. You know, you can do your oranges, your browns, your grungy greens, your blacks, you know, those metallics are very neutral, that copper and that like champagne-y color. You can go neutral, but this palette is definitely a great one for color lovers. So with that review, let's start swatching. Of course, I'm going to go column by column. I feel like that makes sense, you know, as this palette is sorted by columns with its color story. So let's get started. So first I'm going to start with White Hot, which is a white matte. We have Locked, which is a very grungy green, and then we have Vinyl, which is the black. So just gonna swatch these on my hands. So there are the first three shades of the palette. They all swatch well, no complaints there at all. But I feel like mattes, it's harder to tell how they perform through a swatch versus, you know, through using them on your eyes. But they perform well in the eyes, they perform well in swatches. All right, and the last two shades of this row, we have Flash, which is that champagne-y metallic, very soft, very creamy metallic. And then we have Shocked, which is that neon yellow that I used in my inner corner. There we go. So that is the first row of the palette. Very pretty, enjoy it. All right, so second column. I meant first column of the palette, but anyway, second column, we have Cut Out, which is this very grungy, like pastel orange. We have Juicy, which is this bright orange, and then we have Grunge, which is like a grungy brownish orange. Very pretty. So there are the first three shades of the second column. And then we have Zip It Up, which is this copper metallic, and Power, which is this very neon orange, very, very neon. That copper metallic is so creamy. Oh my gosh, look at how that swatches. It's so beautiful. So that is the second column, the oranges. So third column, the pinks, we have Cheeks, which is the pastel pink, Maybe, which is the medium pink matte, Taboo, which is the dark matte in that row. So there we go. And then we have All Mine, which is that metallic pink I used, and then Charged, which is the neon pink. So All Mine, which is the metallic pink, I feel like that one's a bit less intense than the other metallics in the palette, but still very pretty. The neons overall don't swatch the best, and it's hard to formulate a good neon, but I feel like once they're on the eyes and if you pack them versus like blending them, they perform well. Just pack the neons on. But this is the first three columns of the palette, and then I'll be doing the second three columns on my right hand. So this is my left hand. All right, next we have Beckon, which is a pastel purple. We have Stay, which is the medium purple, and then we have Covet, which is the very deep purple. The purples definitely aren't swatching as well, which is to be expected, but they do look nice on the eyes as you saw today. And then we have the metallic purple, which is called Euphoric, which has that beautiful pink reflect. And then we have Pulse, which is the neon purple. So there are all of the purples swatched on my hand. So next up we have the blue row. So first we have Chills, which is a pastel blue. We have Rush, which is the medium blue. I love this color. It's so pretty and very unique from my collection. And then we have Linger, which is that dark color in the row. It's hard to swatch when you're not left-hand dominant, I have to say. So these swatches may not look great because my left hand is basically useless, but there's the first 3 shades of the blue column. Oh man. All right, and then we have underneath, which is the blue metallic, and Energy, which is the neon blue. That blue metallic is stunning. I love it. All right, so there's our blue column. Beautiful. That blue metallic is absolutely gorgeous. So creamy, so pretty on the eyes too. And then last but not least, we have our green column. So the pastel green is called Hint. We have Alive, which is the medium green. And then we have Lush, which is that dark, grungy, olivey green. Very pretty. And as before, my left hand is basically useless. So there we go. Those are their first 3 shades. And then the last 2 shades, we have Limitless, which is the metallic green, and Chemistry, which is the neon green. That metallic green, again, so buttery and creamy, so pretty. Oh, it looks so beautiful swatched out. So there you go. There is the green column as well. So this is what the palette looks like swatched out on my hands. Overall, these swatch well. As to be expected with neons, you have to build them up a little bit versus blending them. Sorry that these swatches look worse than these swatches. My left hand just isn't very good at swatching, but overall, I feel like this palette does swatch very well. And as I've now used every single color in the palette, I also feel like it performs very well as well. So that is it for the video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all found this to be helpful, entertaining, all of that. If you'd like to see more content with this palette, please let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to keep playing with this palette on my channel. Just let me know what kind of content you want to see, and I will try to deliver that for you. So with that, if you like this video, please like this video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps me know what kinds of videos you like seeing on my channel. And if you like me, please subscribe. I would love to have you all here. And with that, thank you for spending a little part of your day with me, and I will see you all next time. Bye.